Hi, my name is Caroline. I've worked at the gate for about 5 years now, and welcome to this episode of Beyond the 13th Gate. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about hiding in plain sight. Okay, so what exactly is hiding in plain sight? I like to say that it's almost the exact opposite of a jump scare. Instead of you appearing after the group has entered the room, you're always in plain sight. They might not see you at first, but you're there and you see them. One important thing is to utilize light and shadow. So whether the lighting in your room is a strobe or a flashing light, or if it's just really dim and darkly lit and there's like one sliver of light, you can utilize that to your advantage. Maybe stepping back and you're not in the light, and then there's a certain part where the customers come in and you step into the light and all of a sudden you're there. You've been there the whole time, but they didn't notice you because you were utilizing your space to your advantage. One thing I like to always tell people is I like to start acting a few moments before the patrons enter my room. You can always hear a cue. Your cue might be another actor going off, it might be the screams of the patrons themselves, or some kind of lighting or sound effect, and so you know that a group is on their way, and I like to prep and get ready, and I start my action before they enter the room. That way, they're walking in on me and interrupting me, and that's why I am responding to them. My character lives in the environment that they're in, no matter who is playing that character. So you always want it to be as if you have lived here forever. That character has always been there, and they are witnessing what that character does. I always like to remember that the patrons are reacting to me. I'm not reacting to them. Although I might respond to them at some point, I am in control of the room, and I like to, from the moment that the people walk in, I am pushing them forward. I have a way to get them from one end of the room out to the other end of the room. So not everything is gonna work. Sometimes scares don't work. Sometimes customers, they just are like, what is that? They're a little bit more weirded out than they are scared. That's totally fine. Just move on to the next group. Try and get people through your room and out as quickly as possible. You always want to keep the line moving. We scare forward, we don't scare backwards. So always get people from one end out of your room, whichever way possible. So when you get in your scene at the beginning of the season, be sure to explore it, figure out what you can do, come up with some ideas. Be sure that you have a couple different types of scares that you can do. Some very high energy ones that are like really impressive, and then a lot, maybe even more low energy ones where you can kind of space it out throughout the night. You don't want to wear yourself out right at the beginning, so exploring, finding different new things to do can be really helpful with figuring out what to do. You're gonna be working for a long period of time over the night. It's very physical. It might be a little bit more tiring than you think at the beginning. So learning how to pace yourself and not wear yourself out at the very beginning is really important. So I like to have a couple different types of scares, some high energy, some really impressive, kind of cool body contortion things, and then some things where I just am really, really still until the right moment where I move, and that's a scare. One of the most important parts when acting that a lot of actors might forget about is your eyes. So customers or patrons, they will see what you're doing with your eyes. They'll see where you're looking. If you're wearing whiteout contacts, they will even see that. I didn't think that people noticed that I didn't have pupils, but they did. So one thing that I like to do is when customers walk into the room, I might be facing the opposite way. I hear them walk in and I'll react, and I will pick one person on the group, the first person that my eyes land on, and I will follow them from the moment that they walk into the room to the moment that they're gone with only my eyes. It scares the bejesus out of people, let me tell you. It works great. So I will pick a person, follow them all the way through, and then sometimes I even like to hold that. Once they're out of the door, I like to still look right where they were, because a lot of times customers they'll think they'll get you. They want to catch you like resetting, or they want to catch you out of character or something. So they might pop their head back in your room, and if you're just sitting there looking at them, they freak out. They will run away because they find it very scary, because it is pretty scary. So you can kind of just watch people and use your eyes to your advantage. Low energy scare, but a good end product. So there's a ton of different types of spots. Some of those spots are supposed to be mannequins, so maybe you blend into the wall, or maybe you're a statue or something like that. So if you can stand really still and like only move your eyes to scare people, that's a good spot to go for, something to think about. If you're really good at standing still, go for those spots. So one of my main spots that I play is in a bathroom. So there's like a shower set up, and the way that the customers walk in, I could hide behind the curtain, but I really am not that big a fan of the jump scare. I think it's really overused in haunts and people are like a little bit too reliant on it. So I like to maybe be halfway out of the curtain to where when they walk in, they can already see some portion of me. A lot of the times what I find works pretty well is I'll leave like my hand or my leg just kind of sticking out, just not really moving. They usually will think that you're a mannequin. Happens a lot. Even if you're moving, they'll still think that you're a mannequin. So use that to your advantage. And if they think you're a mannequin, let them think you're a mannequin until the right moment that you move. And they're like, oh my gosh, no. It's great. It really is. So one thing that I find to be pretty funny is a lot of people will think that you're fake, even if you're moving. So I oftentimes, they'll be telling their friends, she's not real, she's not real. And I'll look at them and say, I am real. It usually gets a laugh out of their group. They feel a little silly. And I've actually had groups before, even after I've said that, I'm like, I'm real. They're like, no, you're not. You're a prop. So be a prop then. Be a good prop. Be sure to be careful. Customers like to touch and hit the mannequins. They like to check if you're real, and don't let them touch you. If they look like they're about to grab you, move out of their way. Try to avoid getting touched or getting hit as much as you can because it sucks and they do it, and even though they're not supposed to do it, they still do it. So this is some advice for floor spots. If you are on the floor, maybe you're on the floor, in the floor, you roll around on the floor, whatever it is very important to look out for yourself first and foremost. So always listen ahead. If you hear customers running, move out of the way. There is nothing worth getting trampled over, getting kicked, getting hit. It's not worth it for a scare. Move out of the way if you hear footsteps approaching. I've been fallen on twice. Not fun. So just look out for yourself first and foremost. And if you need to get out of the way, get out of the way. Equal to that is if you're out on the floor and a group walks in and they're very hesitant, they don't want to walk into the room, they might back up and maybe even turn around and try to walk the other way. Get out of their way so that they can move. Even if you're getting a really good scare, it's really important to get people through the house with the number of people that come through. So it is important to get out of the way, learn to gauge a group the moment that they walk in, kind of pick up on their vibe. What are they like? If they're scared to move, get them through. And if they are moving faster than you, get out of the way. You'll get better at this. Haunt acting is definitely something that you learn as you go. So you'll learn to pick up on the sounds. Now that I've been here for quite a long time, I can hear people running from like 3 scenes away, and I know, okay, I'm just gonna kind of sit back and chill for this group because I'm not about to get stepped on or anything. So just really be careful, learn to gauge people, and you'll do good. Haunt acting doesn't usually come naturally. I find that at the beginning of the season, I am a very different actor than I am at the end of the season. If I'm in a new spot, I like to explore. I like to find out what I can do. Not everything is gonna work. You probably at some point are gonna embarrass yourself in front of a group. You'll find things that don't work, you'll find things that do work, and the things that do work, you can build upon and expand on those and learn different things that you never even thought that you could do. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ring the notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post a new video. And we will see you next time beyond 13th Gate.